doesn't put his picture on.
Oh. Alan, you're on the list for conservation that you need to be reauthorized.
Reappointed.
Reappointed.
Okay. So we do not have, oh, I think. And I'm now remembering that Peter Bemis said he probably wouldn't be coming, but we can still finish up, I think, with 99 West River.
Okay.
Okay, we have some time for 90. What's for work? Oh, stream, let's continue. So. What's the update, Mary?
The update is they have a DEP number
Finally,
and they submitted updated plans. I don't remember if we looked at these plans last week. You guys might remember. Yeah, this is the new plan. Is this the one you guys remember looking at? I think it was this, yeah, so basically last time, the only thing we were waiting for was a DEP number. They have put the bounds on this plan. This whole area is to be protected in some way. And as I was, oh, I guess I should be sharing the screen here. Let's see. And as I was writing up the draft order, I was trying to think of what the mechanism was going to be for this. And Mike, I remembered the deed restriction that you sent me for 343 Milford that we never ended up using. But something like that, do you think would be appropriate for this site? And that way it's recorded and it'll have this plan with it, but it doesn't need to go through the state as a conservation restriction, right? It's
Just recorded.
So that's basically the update. The comments on the DEP number had to do with, they were concerned about riverfront area potentially and wetland from across the street, but it's well over. You know, this lot is, if you guys know, especially since West River is way up high there. Nothing's getting, well, I mean, something could get across the road, but there's no wetlands or anything. So that's that. So the other thing is they are still acting, they tried to get a foundation inspection today. So, and building department told them, no, absolutely not, you gotta wait. So that's kind of what's going on with them.
So what you're recommending? Like us to close the hearing?
Yeah, I think it's good. They did everything we asked them to.
do we have any discussion from the commission? Or discussion from the audience? Anyone logged in?
Someone's got the.
Someone has
Yes,
Okay.
Peter.
Oh, it's Peter. There he is.
yes,
Okay.
great. So Pierre, do you have a question for us?
Hi, thank you. Sorry, I was trying to log on. It was updating and doing other things and, oh, I'll join as a panelist. Thank you.
Oops.
A question for us, Pierre?
No, none. I just wanted you to know that I did finally get to log on and,
Oh.
and everything that you'd said, Mary, thank you. You did a great, concise presentation. And I'd like to close the hearing. I wanted you to know that. And the protective area was intended just as you described it. I expect you to put something in there that can survive the order. That's why we did it.
Any questions or comments from the commission? No. Okay, then we'll vote to close the hearing. Do we have a motion to close it from the commission?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Let's voice vote. Chris, aye.
Aye.
Sandy, I.
David.
Okay,
Marcella, I.
okay,
What
excellent.
about Alan?
Alan.
Ellen,
Alan's muted.
Oh,
Progress.
yeah, trees, yeah, trees.
any way to unmute Ellen?
Yeah, he should be able to unmute himself though.
Might be in the car, sometimes he's trying.
All right.
So,
Okay,
Oh, that was.
so
Oh, so Alan
Thank you very
abstains, I
much.
guess.
we have a majority vote of the commission to close the hearing and Mary will issue the order of condition. And Pierre, let her, you know when they're done.
Okay, thank you very much, folks. I appreciate your patience with this project. Have a good evening.
You too. Okay, Mary, do you want to go over the details now or later?
Of the order, yeah, I can go over that now. Let's see if I can bring it up. Do you guys want to look at it?
we just hit, like,
Yeah, so the main thing that's different here is, Peter had not ever put the roof drainage, roof Cultex in, so that's part of the order. And then the other thing is the, this restricted area and the language for that. Yeah, this is. ENP. Yeah, I think it's, oh, here it finally came up. Conditions. Okay, before issuance of a certificate of occupancy, a declaration restriction shall be placed upon the protected area of the lot. Draft restriction shall be approved by the Conservation Commission. Final restriction of plan to be recorded at registry of deeds.
So, good.
Yeah, so if you guys like, I mean, otherwise it's pretty much a standard conditions, then you guys can vote to do that tonight. I'm sure they will be very happy.
Okay. We take a motion to vote to approve the oral conditions.
so moved.
Have a second.
Section.
It's a good vote. Chris, aye.
Aye.
Michael.
Sandy, I.
David, I agree with that.
Marcella, I.
Alan, aye.
Okay, that's a unanimous vote of the members present. Thank you, Mary, for bringing that up. And, yeah, so this morning we have.
Hey, Chris, can we try to bring in the 45 Milford Street people if they're on?
Yeah.
Just if, you still have 5 minutes through Mechanic Street.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, do you wanna, how do you wanna do that? Just, you want to show the plans and explain what happened?
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
All right, good evening, everyone. We had trouble with our Zoom and we're not able to log on until 7:30 tonight. We did hold the hearing for the ANRAD at 45 Milford Street, but we would like to see if there's any of the public that have comments. And we can show you the plans, et cetera, if you are interested in looking at it. So I'll just pull up the plans. Take a minute. We do not know what this ANRAD is for. We can't tell you what the development plans are. We do not know. Although someone did say they did not, it's not zoned for residential, so it's probably not gonna be a 40B. Someone did say that. We don't know that for sure. Sorry, this takes so long. So this shows the plans of the site. There's an existing house and kind of lawn area up here. And then a large wetland system down here with an intermittent stream that comes under Route 140 through a culvert. Wanders this way through the wetland and eventually connects into Center Brook. The wetland delineation was well done, and the commission did vote to approve delineation. But if people from the public had questions or comments, I think they can bring them up.
We just need to know your name and your address.
And you have to raise your hand if you want to talk.
You know, the names of the people who you were communicating?
It was Marcia Kolowski
Okay,
and Marianne Kennedy.
Okay.
okay, so those two.
And these guys are for later hearings.
Okay, so we don't hear anything from
Yeah,
the audience, so we'll continue with our next hearing. Thank you for being
And
patient.
they do know how to raise their hand.
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
they-
she said.
she-
You remember?
I can, yeah, that's true. We can just say allowed to talk.
And
Yeah,
thank
he's-
you, though.
Thank
I'm
you.
all set. Thank you.
Okay, so our next hearing is at 7:40, which is a Milton 10, which will continue from the Kent Lake Street Conservation Council parking area. Do we get a DEP number for this one, Mary?
No, unfortunately not. And
Oh,
we did not send it in time, so that was our fault in the office here.
no.
So it just got in earlier maybe this week or something, so
So we have to continue it.
we have to continue it.
Okay,
Yep,
so,
There are a couple things I want to talk about very quickly.
yes.
One is, I'm meeting Dan from SVT, by the parking lot area, tomorrow. Look at that bridge site, Boardwalk E, which is the one near the parking area. And he's also going to have with Bob Hatch, who's the person who builds the boardwalks for the fiberglass panels. So I'm just wondering if anybody wants to meet Bob. They'll take an opportunity to do that. 11. So they're gonna meet at 11 at the parking area, King Street parking area site. And then they're gonna also walk into the, which would be Boardwalk A.
The first one.
The first one, the first one, so. Yeah, it's the plans, but, so I want to let people know that, and the other thing is, Dan has a very preliminary cost estimate for doing the fiberglass reinforced, panels at those two boardwalks, A and E, and it's around $14,000, that number might go down. But that's what we have right now.
For what, or each one?
Or for two of them together. The one issue is, and I told Dan, I haven't talked about this a little bit, is that their budget for this is getting kind of stretched, so. I guess I would ask, would if the commission would be interested in maybe helping out, to some extent. Financially.
And it's fiberglass because of what, why?
Well, it would, because, well, it will last much longer, but also it allows you to put down the geotextile and the pea gravel.
Of the horses and stuff, so it's a horse people.
Yes, it's for horses, yeah. The other thing about it, making the boardwalk wider, parking areas, I think would improve access for emergency vehicles.
Would any of the horse groups be willing to,
And we haven't gotten that far yet, it's possible,
I'm not opposed to this possible too.
but I just want to let you know that, the parking area current dance costs more than you budgeted for, and these, what parking areas are, 10,000. The AmeriCorps crew, I think he says gonna be around 13,000. Materials, maybe around 7,000. So that's pretty much what's committed. At this point. And then plus another 14 traps for the fiberglass reinforcement down boardwalks. I think the original budget was 40, and I'm sure some advance time will come down on this too. And we do have, when we get later on, when we get the financials, we do have available funds for stewardship. From various accounts.
Yeah, in general, I'm not opposed to helping, I would like to try to get the horse people involved with that.
I agree.
Anyway, that's the update there. The other thing I asked Dan about was AmeriCorps crew, they're gonna be camping at Stephens. I kind of suggested maybe the commission should spread the report on.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So they would have to be camping out while they're doing the work.
Yeah. Probably in the field down towards market.
Make sure you vote on springing for the porta potty.
Sure.
We have a motion to,
Haven't we already approved this?
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, we did?
yeah, I thought we did the porta potty thing already.
okay,
Thank you.
okay.
All right. So, and then I would just, we can let Dan know once the financials are more solid. More snow. That the commission at least would consider helping out, we also like to reach out to Easter.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, so. What time?
I'll tell you,
Okay,
7:49,
okay, thank you. 7:49.
7:50.
Oh, okay, so
Much is on.
we're not there yet. So, Mary, do you have more things from your report?
Yeah, I'm sure we do. Let's see. All right, so I think we stopped at the swimming pool. All right, I talked to Mike on the phone about this. I had someone calling me to say, oh, I need to do test pits, but it involves a wetland crossing. Do I need to file? And I went and out, I was driving by, this is on High Street, and I thought, oh, I'll stop and look at it and see what it is. And so this is what it is. So it's, it is actually, it says, I put boards down, but it, it'd be a little bit, it would be a little bit hairy. So
They're gonna bring equipment across that, right?
well, I don't think you can, so this is more hypothetical because there's actually just to the left, this is the new, that DOT just did. There's a brand new guardrail and everything. He's not going through that, I don't think.
No.
So I told him he had to get permission from the neighbor, because I'm standing on the neighbor's driveway. So I assume if he's getting permission from the neighbor, he'll just go across in the driveway or whatever, or I hope he's not, see, the other side of this is back at 12 Stoddard. I hope he's not thinking he's gonna go through there, because I don't feel like that would be a very good approach.
85 High Street,
Yeah,
related to Stoddard.
yeah,
Yeah, they were in looking for a driveway permit.
oh, already,
So they intend to come in off of,
High Street,
if they can. Now, the fact that it's a new road that was paid for with tip money. There may be a moratorium on doing anything to the sidewalk. And they have to basically cut it out and make sure it's handicap accessible and all of that stuff.
right,
And perhaps relocate part of the guardrail as well, so.
yeah, it's like, I know in Webster, we had a situation like this, and it was a brand new road, 5 years, they made it take 5 years.
So that's good, yeah, that's typically what they do for, wanting to dig into the road. Same may hold true for the sidewalk as well.
Yeah, and it's granite curbing and everything,
Yeah.
it'd be a shame. To break it open, so this is more hypothetical to think about, though, you know, do we want people to file determinations for something like this in the future?
Look at the regs and the wetland protection areas, and there's an exemption for testing in buffer, so, but there's no exemption for testing in wetlands itself. So
Or for having to cross.
it's silent on that, but I would think it would mean that if you have to cross the wetlands to test it in the buffer, you still would probably need for at least a determination.
Right, and I think it's a little bit of an, trying to think of, well, they must have had to do it for those Westboro road lots to get back there. They must have had to. I don't know what they did.
The west from the road lines, I think they're going off the North Street.
Either way, there's a wetland crossing, either way, they would have had to cross the wetland to do testing for those. So I mean, I don't know how it is or how badly, I didn't notice when I looked at the Westboro Road property that it looked like it was all messed up, and presumably they deal with this all the time and hopefully they know what they're doing, but I don't know, actually, so. We never did this in Webster, but I think there are other towns who routinely require permits for this. So something to think about. Or if you guys wanted to make a decision right now.
Well, I mean, there's not an exemption,
Right.
so I guess if you define some kind of filing, if they're crossing a wetland or actually testing in the wetland, so.
Well, it goes both ways. If we require them to have some kind of a permit, then they know that they've done it in the correct way. Otherwise, they're just
Right.
using their judgment, whatever that.
I feel like he's like the first, well, I think this was an obviously tricky, this was a hard one. So that's why he asked.
I think they should do a permit.
Okay.
And I don't think we need to make it a policy. You know.
It comes up in the future, and then here's the 5 Fork Farm. I did take a bunch of other pictures, but I only put 2 in the report. So they did, this is I believe, the one we looked at with Grace is we asked her to do a temporary fix before they re-engineer the spillway so that it doesn't fail again. So that's status with that. I guess I didn't take a picture of the pond, but I did see one little tiny tadpole swimming around in the irrigation pond, so that was nice. But there were 3 million tadpoles swimming around in the old irrigation pond. They were going crazy. And this is the old pond. Grace said they had a breach of it, which is one reason why they thought the other pond washed out was during that storm. I'm still trying to imagine it. There wasn't like a huge debris trail down the hill. There's this little gully, although they may have repaired it. This might have been repaired a few times. I don't know. I'm not sure what it looked like when it originally washed out. She just kind of told me, oh yeah, that thing washed out. I'm like, what? But so this is how that stands there. She said, oh, Nathan's getting back to me, but I don't know what the pile is on his desk.
Well, the stone that they put in looks fairly small, so
Yeah, I don't think it's,
It's, I mean, it's great for temporary, but, you know, just, everyone know that this failed last fall, which, what we think was a 10-year event only. So if it failed then, it's gonna fail. You know, the NRCS designs these things for 25-year only. So. I think they have a little bit of work to do.
Yeah.
And Grace should be happy that she doesn't want to lose her pond, and we don't want her pond to end up in downstream resource areas. Both on the same side.
and downstream, I'm still amazed at how good, I mean, there's about 20 feet of disturbed soil and then the rest of it looks pretty good considering what happened. And then the rest of my stuff is just up top here, no pictures. I had an engineer calling about the Rushford property, kind of asking what to do. He was under the impression, I don't know if you're familiar, I guess we can pull it up on the map, but there's like 3 or 4 buildings on that property, including Rushford's. There's an old house on the street, and then there's also a house behind. And they want to tear down that behind house. And he was worried if once he tore it down, that he wouldn't be able to rebuild anything unless it was in exactly the same footprint. But I don't think, you know, this is riverfront area. I don't think so. And I think for redevelopment, this is my impression, but I have to look. As long as you make it better, then you're okay. That was, I told him, see if you can pull that 50 feet away from and restore all the area on the bank. And then I think that would be an improvement to the lot. So they're hoping to put a commercial building in back there behind the house on the road. I don't know if there's room, but so that's what they're hoping to do with that property.
Where is this?
This is Rushford, so we can look at it.
It's the brewery.
Oh,
They're selling it.
the old,
And they will.
it's the old oil company.
And they will be paying rent to the buys it, the brewery will.
Yeah.
That'll be tricky.
They think there's enough room to build a building behind it.
That's,
With parking.
Tiny house.
so, right, so they're tearing this down. And they're restoring this, and they're hoping to put something in here. And I told them if you can get 50 feet off the river or that wetland area, that would be great. And restore some of this, but I don't know, I don't know how much room they really have to do anything. That's that one, and then the other thing which we'll need to get on our agenda for the next meeting is the stormwater regs. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to look through them. The one thing that caught my eye was the fees. They just put random fees in and they're charging, I was just laughing because it's more than any of our other fees. So maybe we want to push all our fees up, but for a stormwater permit, just a stormwater permit was gonna be $1,000. I'm like, ooh. So at least want to think about the fees and maybe making it a little bit, either pulling them down or pulling our other ones up.
What, I have no idea what's typical.
You're opening a whole kettle of worms. Yeah,
What, I mean, I don't wanna
Gouge.
gouge and. you know,
Right, I think
people-
$1,000, I mean, that's, I don't know, maybe maybe this is Westford or some of those, you know. Closer in towns, but. Right now, our NOI fee for a single family house is 500. I don't think it would need, this is just a stormwater permit, so I think our old one might have been 200 or 250. So that, and maybe I can just look at our old fees and maybe we can just use our old fees, and that might just be appropriate.
Maybe we need to increase some of the other fees.
Well, there is that question too, and I know
Comparable to other towns in our area, I have no idea.
well, even Northbridge is doing a little survey, because he sent out asking people to. And there's a bunch of actually from MSWCP, a bunch of people are throwing around their prices.
Right.
I think ours are kind of standard, because I know I looked at this in Webster. But I think they're not high, you know.
Yeah, I'm not looking to charge people a ton of money, I mean, just. What is reasonable and appropriate.
can
I
pay
just-
the bills. I mean, you're
Yeah.
taking a fee, it's gonna cover the cost of the
Right,
people,
reasonable and appropriate.
you know, who are inspecting and, you know, all the rest of it. And us, our big salary,
Huh?
and us, our big salary.
I just have a question about, so the bylaws approved at town meeting,
Yeah,
so it just now has to go to the Attorney General
yes, so I think we don't officially start using it.
until then,
Until
right?
like
That's the
6
question
months.
I have. I believe that's right, but maybe we should double check that. And then,
No, it's 6
so maybe
months.
this whole regs thing can kind of,
Well, I think we have to get the regs promulgated for Dennis.
for that. So we should be safe and have a public hearing,
Right,
public notice,
Yeah.
the regs,
yes,
changes in the regs.
yeah, so I guess that means, well, we only have one more, and he needs it by the end of June, so we could do it next meeting.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna be gone on the 12th, which is the first meeting in June. More vacation, that's it, all year. What's that?
Good time to do it in May.
Yeah, I think if we post it tomorrow, we're gonna do that tomorrow, I think we have time to do it for the next meeting. Now it's 8 o'clock.
Okay, great. 8 o'clock is the July for 123 Glenview Street. It looks like the information.
Alright, and we need to get, I need to get all the people on. Columbia Street.
Lori and Mary did a great job at the town meeting to get our bylaw. Stormwater bylaw. No questions at all.
Okay. So, Brian, I think you're here. Do you wanna, oh, there he is.
Yep, good evening. How's everyone doing?
Sure.
Yep, we're here on behalf of Fraser and Alex for 123 Glenview Street. This is the continued hearing from April 24th for the notice of intent for the single family home at 123 Glenview. And do you have plans you want to share? Do you want me to try to share the revised plans, Mary?
Why don't you try and share, hopefully.
Okay, let me see what I got.
For you.
Do-
Mary, do we have the DEP number of this?
Yes,
Oh, good.
all their DEP numbers came through.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was nice to see. So this is the an extra sheet we added since last time because Mary had brought up the construction entrance. And so we added this sheet that shows the construction entrance on the grading and drainage sheet. One of the other questions that Mary had brought up is we did have some grading that was right up to the edge of the wetland. So we pulled that, we added this little short stone wall, 2 foot high. So we pulled the grading back and we were showing the reset erosion control barrier so that it's off, 5 to 15 feet off the wetland here. And then so this heavy dashed line right here was the erosion control barrier that the contractor had set initially along the 30 and then the back here. So this will be all reset to the limits that we discussed on April 24th. And I will show you the other plan if I find it. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Come on. Oh, that's the signs and the bounds.
bounds, the metal posts, or are they? And what's the bounds? Maybe tonight.
Can everyone see the planting plan now?
Yes,
Okay. So we had discussed at the last hearing to pull these plantings in. And, you know, it already showed the rain garden. We adjusted the fence a bit here. And then we still have, you know, the proposed meadow restoration for the 30 and 50 in this area, along with all the tree and shrub plantings that we had discussed at the last meeting. We added 3 evergreens down in this area just for screening. And this was an area where we removed some dead trees and some of the dense bittersweet vines. So I think we've addressed all the comments that we had received from Marion that we had discussed with the commission at the April 24th hearing. And I can go back to that. One of the things was discussing where to put bounds or other features along the 30. Unless someone has questions on these, I'll jump to that, but I'll turn it back to you if you have questions on the site plans.
we have questions from the commission? Or questions from the audience? Hearing none, keep going, please.
Okay. So what we had proposed, we sent to Mary was some signage, because the fence is set on the 30 here, sign, 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 and then the bound and bound. So we sent some samples of signs and fences that we've had good results with on other projects. So this was one that, this is in Burlington, a protected wetlands area. So these split rail fences are behind the homes and the wetland is pretty much directly behind it. This obviously be set at the 30. So I don't know if you have your own signs. I know you said that you have a plaque for the top of the bounds. This is one we just recently did in Northborough. We put them on the painted galvanized posts. The reason we've liked these and some commissions have got away from the bounds is the bounds can become overgrown, be difficult to find. Sometimes you have landscape contractors that are overzealous and don't know the bound is there, where signage makes it pretty clear. And, you know, different towns have different, you know, some commissions will put their phone numbers on here, or, you know, we can put, you know, 30-foot no disturb or different things like that. So we were offering these as an option that we thought would work well mounted to the fence in this area. And then if you wanted the bounds, we showed them at the corner where the driveway is close to the 30. And then the limit of clearing. This is the natural wooded area here that's going to remain. This is the restored meadow area. So we put one at the corner, but we wanted to open up discussion with you and get your thoughts.
The more permanent bounds than what the pictures showed.
For the bounds, so he's
Yeah.
proposing the 2 bounds and then.
Oh, the bound's fine, but I mean, those signs,
But the
that was like
signs
something
on the
permanent, because
Yeah.
you could pull them out, the fence will come down one day.
Mhm.
I would like to see something more permanent.
Okay, that's fine. Would you be opposed to like an iron rod with a cap on it? The thing with the iron rod is it's very easy to find for a surveyor on a house with a metal detector in the future. So we could do the sign on the fence and then do a metal rod right below it at the 30 if that works. Or if you want the bounds, we'll have to do the bounds.
I think I prefer the bounds.
I like the bounds.
I think the bounds that we usually have, so that it's consistent with
Yeah.
other projects in town.
This is in an area where there will be mowing, so they could be maybe raised a foot or so above the
Mhm.
ground surface, so they'd be obvious.
And we
And we'll keep them on the backside of the fence. They just I don't know about kids or dogs. I don't want them tripping over them. So we'll put them on the backside of the fence and leave them up, 6 to 12 inches.
Yeah, that's fine.
Six.
The concrete.
6 to 18, how far do we?
Ours are usually 12 to 18.
12 to 18, yeah.
12 to 18, okay.
Then it'll be consistent with other projects in town. Do you have other questions or comments from the commission? Or from the audience? Mary, any other comments?
Yeah, the DEP number did come in, and the only comments from DEP that they suggested that what the BVW forms maybe could have been submitted, which they weren't, but. And yeah, everything else was pretty fine. I was fine with the wetland information.
Excellent. Is it too late to submit the BBW forms?
Did you do a BVW form?
No, I mean, the wetland follows along a bank, the bank there. It's.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
straightforward. And then we walked it and Mary walked it. So no, I didn't bother doing a form for this length of wetland and where it's well defined by a 2 to 4 foot bank. So
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
we did a full description of the wetland in our cover letter, but not one form. The form covers one transect where we did a full description of the species and the soils in our
Yeah.
cover letter, but
That was fine.
Okay. No other questions from the commission or the audience? So with the applicant, like to close.
Brian, would you like to close?
yes, if I think we've addressed everything and everyone seems in agreement. And we've noted that the 5 points will be all bounds instead of signs and bounds. So I think we're good.
Okay, excellent. So for the commission, we have a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Press I.
Aye.
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
David, aye.
Like,
Marcella, I.
Okay, that's unanimous vote of the commission. And Brian, Mary will be in touch with you when the orders are complete. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, how's our time?
Yes, we're good.
Good. I did do a draft order if you guys wanna
Okay, sure.
approve that. Probably you didn't get a chance to look at it. I don't think there was anything really special.
Was it a beach day?
That's Mary Ellen Kennedy.
Oh, okay.
Still here.
She got her hand up, right?
I think that's cursor.
Oh, stop.
Right, so I just need to redo number 40 about the bounds, because I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, that was really, there's nothing else special, everything else is standard this order, so. You guys want to go ahead and approve it, and now that we're in person, you guys can sign them here.
Wow.
Grace made them up, and we're so excited.
Motion to approve the orders and written by Mary.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
that's a voice vote. Press I.
Tom, aye.
Alan, I.
David, aye.
like,
Excellent.
Marcella, I.
Excellent job, Mary. Okay, so we can sign the orders. And Ellen, while you're on, right now, you're on the list of someone who needs to be reappointed to the commission. If you so choose.
Yep, I do.
Excellent. We're glad to hear from you again.
Yeah, thank you.
So. Tom, how's our time?
Right, it's 8:16.
Okay. Mary, you have the wording for the RDA for 201 North Street
Oh, yeah,
for the driveway. Paving.
yes. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act that the Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, May 8th at 8:10 PM. RDA filed by Carol Bard for the replacement of, that's not right though, I think. For the replacement of 650 feet of gravel driveway with asphalt driveway at 2001 North Street. Is that the right name of the applicant?
Well, the property is owned by Carol Bard and Lorraine Gandolfi.
Oh, okay,
So Carol was on one version of it and Lorraine signed it, so.
perfect, all right. All invited parties are invited to participate, okay.
So
So-
Alan, Bill, do you want to present it?
Yes, I'm going to present it. Lorraine and Carol and Chris and Jen are my neighbors, and we all share the driveway that is going to be redone. The work that is proposed is entirely on Lorraine and Carol's portion, it's on their land, even though the driveway is shared by all three families. It's just that we currently have a gravel, recycled asphalt driveway, which got eaten up by that 5-inch rainstorm. And we're proposing to replace it with an asphalt driveway. The company's gonna come in and take away, or actually, I'm not gonna take it away, but they will be stripping off about 2 to 3 inches of the existing driveway and leaving as much of that as we can use, and we'll use it on the remaining part of our gravel driveway. And then they'll come back and put in 2 courses of asphalt.
Who's doing the
Asphalt engineering. And I think at the closest, we're about 14 feet from bordering vegetated wetlands. That was what I marched off to the nearest skunk cabbage. And then there are other areas where we're probably about 30 feet, and then it gets a little bit wider.
water used to run across that?
Well, that's the other thing. There is a stream that comes down from the hill. Very close to the beginning of the driveway that serves exclusively 201, goes under it, and then there's a stream that comes down along the side of the driveway and goes into the wetland. That's an intermittent stream. And then there is actually another smaller pipe. There's a sort of a drain area along the other side of the driveway that goes under the road, the driveway a little bit closer to North Street. And again, goes under and comes out and drains into the wetland.
So they'll be able to keep everything out of the wetland and everything. They do that.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to put in, I believe, erosion controls,
Okay.
especially after they exposed the dirt.
Well, that's what I was just wondering, because I know it's wet right up.
Yes.
It's really
Yeah.
close.
The only thing that's come up since I submitted it is we have talked amongst ourselves about extending the paved area a little bit, or not, farther down. To at least the entrance or at least to the driveway that goes to 207. And they're suggesting we should go a little bit farther than that. But that's no closer to any of the existing. And as Mary discovered, and we knew already, when we did have that horrible storm, we ended up with a trench along the north side of the driveway, and a very, which basically all that stuff ended up in the wetland. So Marcella and I have taken some of it away already. Mary suggested we should try to take all of it away. Which is fine. I think Marcella and I had decided we were gonna do that regardless, so if you wanna make that a condition, it's. We did move some of it already, the rain ended up creating a driveway where the potholes came back every time it rained. So we were refilling them and getting washed out. And we're all getting older, and we deal with that anymore, so hence the asphalt.
So do we have any questions or comments from the commission? Any questions or comments from the audience?
You're not gonna bring any equipment in to clean out that wetland, are you?
No, but we were thinking we'd make a little path into it, we dump all this.
Make it easier.
So,
Yeah.
do you guys think about putting like a little strip, a filter strip along the edge of the driveway?
I mentioned that, but that would be something we haven't included in the plans.
Yeah, that would be another additional cost, I'm sure, for you. So, an idea, but.
Yeah, well, yeah, and actually the Lorraine Carroll driveway does have that filter strip along the edge of it.
Okay, so-
And if we find that we're having trouble, take care of it.
Okay.
No other questions or comments? Bill, would you like to close the hearing?
I would like to close the hearing.
We'll vote and then we have a motion to close the hearing.
So.
A second?
Second.
You know, what? When did you become a member?
Okay, so let's vote. Chris, I.
Tom, I.
Alan, I.
Like I,
Sandy, I.
Marcella abstains.
Okay,
Bill, you're an I,
So,
this is the one. Okay,
Okay, I'll make motion to issue a negative determination.
okay, and we'll have Mary drop that up and then get in touch with you when next time.
You second.
Yep,
Okay.
second.
Okay, Chris, I.
Tom, I.
Alan, I.
Okay.
Sandy, I.
Do that.
Okay, minutes, vote of the members present. Okay, and Bill, Mary will let you know when. the-
Well, Marcella hasn't said anything, but she would abstain.
When it's all set. Good job. Okay, now. We have, Ridge at 8:20.
Say 23.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and they have asked to continue,
Oh,
so. I think till next meeting,
okay,
so we don't have to worry about them.
okay. So, Mary, do you have anything else for your report?
Just vacation in June. You can be gone from, it's either the 4th or the 5th. And coming back on the 16th, so it is a while. So you may want Grace to contact people if there's issues.
Okay. If there are issues, Grace can always give me a call or an email. And then I'll delegate if I can't do it. Okay, that's your report, Grace.
First, we have to approve last meeting minutes from April 24th.
Do you have any comments about the minutes? Okay, let's have a motion. to approve the minute from the April 10th.
So,
Second,
second.
okay, voice vote, Chris, I.
Tom, I.
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Like I,
Marcella, I.
Excellent.
You're right, you're supposed to vote after Tom.
Yeah, let's vote on the commission. Great.
okay, I think possibly learn that.
Sandy's,
We'll see.
Yes, we have two.
got it, Sandy's got a little OCD. Go like this.
Well, we do them same order, but make it easier for Grace and.
Be careful out, get my whistle out.
Okay, so Grace,
Yes, we have two expense vouchers to approve. The first one includes two local IQ, New England invoices for legal advertisements. The first one is for $217.08. The second one was actually put onto the CPC invoice. And I contacted billing and they said for us just to pay it. And that one is for $195.88. And then Mary's mileage reimbursement, $34.30. And then today we got an invoice in from Gregory Trussell for 18,000. 1,800.
You gotta say, I don't remember the 18,000 loss.
Then lastly, with the new land use and inspectional services department credit card, we purchased certified mailing for the Mechanic Street and Fowler Street.
Okay, do a motion to approve payment of all of the bills.
So moved.
A second,
Second,
okay, press the I.
online.
Alan, I.
Sandy, aye.
Marcella, I.
Ellen Rose,
Yeah.
Yes.
okay, thank you. All set, paying our bill. Anything else, Ray? Okay, so if it was on here, we have open space bill.
So Grace, didn't you get an invoice from Stumpy's too?
Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to be on there as well?
Oh, I thought that was for.
Just.
Okay. Don't do that to me.
I'm glad I was here. I'd forgotten all about that. We'll go back tomorrow and get it paid. Yeah, open space, nothing new on. Lake Wildwood land, Mechanic Street, I did see that Metacomet had initiated a conversation again with the Realtor regarding our interest in that land. Did you get any response?
No response.
Okay. And it's been incredible. The Open Space Committee was approached by the Realtor for the owner of a parcel that abuts Stephens Farm. It has frontage on, it has frontage on, did I mention this already? No, it has frontage on Mechanic Street. And in fact, it was one of the parcels that we thought might provide vehicular access into it. The part of it is under the power line.
That little piece between Stebbins and the power line.
Yeah, it's about 6 acres.
Wow.
It's kind of funny, it's about a U shape with a little piece of it,
Puzzle piece.
yeah.
It's like
Puzzle.
it came out of it.
And so in the middle of it, with frontage on Mechanic Street, is a piece owned by National Grid.
Right.
So we've just initiated, in fact, we voted at the last meeting our open space meeting to get it appraised.
Okay.
So we have to make arrangements for that. And I've had a couple of conversations with the owners of about 106 acres. Basically between Fay Mountain Road and North Street. It abuts the Forest Heights parcel. I think I've been talking to the owner and his son, and I think they're thinking they might like to do. There's about 106 acres in Upton and about 7 acres in Grafton with frontage on things. I think they'd like to keep part of it that has the frontage on Grafton and sell us the back part of it, which would have like Forest Heights. So I've been approached by talking with those two, and then this week indirectly I was contacted by St. Gabriel's Church, who's looking to sell some part of their property, and I think Anita also talked to you about that. Are you
Yes.
familiar with that? And I think it's a wettish piece. Is it that behind the trash property?
Yes. Well,
Is it on the same side as the
it's
church?
it's behind the old Stockwell house.
Okay, I guess.
Okay, so if you're going in,
Does it extend beyond that to behind the Trask parcel, which is on that side of?
I don't know if
I've got
there's
it
that
on the
far.
screen.
Oh, yeah, there it is. So I think it's the parcel to the side of it to the north, right?
Right, that's correct. Yeah.
Is this thing?
That's-
Yeah, that
all that, yeah.
Yeah, so that
That
strip along Mendon is part of the Trask land that was gifted to the town.
Oh, so that's owned by the town there.
That is, yes,
Okay.
that was bequeathed to the town of Harvard Tracks.
Okay, and so they, all right.
So it's possible that even the Retcon may have some, I don't know how wet it is, and do you think there was a vernal pool back there?
There's Castle Vernal Pool, I mean, this was like 20 years ago, but there's quite a bit of wet back there. And It's got some topography to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
I don't think, from a rec standpoint,
Not much use.
buildable, but, for trails or something that, let off the.
How many acres?
just eyeball, it's like maybe 7. That's about where they want to cut it off.
Is it wetland on the Trask property that they donated, that back, is that wetland? Not, right?
No, I think along the road it's pretty dry, although
Yeah.
by the corner it gets wet. I don't know if that's, yeah, it gets wet down by the corner. I believe. Yeah, there you go.
Is it enough land there for the town to make
Yeah.
like soccer fields or anything that they're all fields?
Well, yeah, so they have created a plan for both sides of Mendon Street. I don't know what they had planned, I can't remember what they had planned for the,
All right,
I
so
guess it would
then
be the west side of Mendon.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so if you're interested, it's called the Four Parks Master Plan, and you can get it on the Retcon.
What is it called?
Four Parks Master Plan,
Okay.
but it describes what they were thinking about doing.
So what? I mean, I'm generally off of buying, purchasing open space, but I'm trying to make that work. I don't know that it does.
Well, to the extent that, that there's town-owned land on the abutting Mendon Street means you have access to it from Mendon.
Okay.
And then you would basically be able to cross the street. So I think you may be able to put in a nice
Okay, now I
trail.
know what you're, okay, I get it now. All right, crossing the street, okay, all right.
And my understanding, and I was talking to one of the parishioners who, Father Larry asked us to contact him. She was saying that they're just trying to raise money for the church. So I'm expecting another card tomorrow from somebody somewhere.
John,
So that's it from a land, open space perspective.
Excellent.
congratulations on your election.
Yes,
Thank you.
good job. Okay, and how about land stewardship? Marcella,
Yeah, we got a notice via the DPW that somebody's dumping yard waste. I guess there's some folks doing landscaping and they're dumping it in the, it sounded like in the general area of the parking on on Fowler Street for the Mechanic Street property. My suggestion is to put signs up that say no dumping. And I don't think that that's an isolated thing. I think we've seen people dump stuff before, but it wouldn't hurt to put signs up at various trailheads and sort of hidden areas where people think that it's okay to dump stuff. So I was gonna propose that we purchase some signs, just generic no dumping signs, or we could do something that has a little bit more of a,
We do have our regulations, do you want to put them up?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
We've got the brown regulation signs,
Does it say no dumping on there?
we'll double check.
I'm not sure it does, but if it does, then that would, we were certainly gonna be putting one of those up at that particular trailhead. But if it's not on that sign, and I don't know how whether this needs to be expedited, but the Land Stewardship Committee isn't going to meet for another month or so, and if we wanted to act on it right away and order some signs, then I would request approval to spend some money to do that. And I imagine that we need to have SVT on board, so I would want to just keep them in the loop. I'll email Dan, but anyway, if you want me to act quickly, I can do that, or we can just take care of it with the Land Stewardship Committee in another month or so.
Marcella, does Land Stewardship have any trail cams that you guys use for any situations?
Yes, they got, well, one got destroyed and one got stolen. Is that how it worked?
It might be
I
one
think
in
we
the
have one.
office, yeah.
We have one that is still working.
Yeah, and I was gonna write back to the person who reported this to the DPW to see if maybe you could get a license number or a name of a company that might be doing this dumping.
Yeah. Marcel, I actually saw that email, so I drove by there and there's nothing by the road. Are they driving in some distance?
All I did was.
Because I didn't see any evidence of dumping right at the entrance, so maybe you can drive in maybe 100 feet or so. I didn't walk in to check that, but maybe they're driving in a ways and dumping.
Wouldn't surprise me if that was what's happening, but I haven't looked at the site myself either. That's not to say it isn't a problem that we do encounter now and again, and we haven't really addressed it except to ask abutters to move. Often it's abutters tossing yard waste into the open space areas, but when it's people who are doing, dumping their business yard waste from their landscaping businesses, that's kind of a different thing. So, well, I don't know, if any of you have any strong opinions about it, but we can certainly tackle this at the next land stewardship meeting.
Signs are a good idea.
My opinion would be, the sooner we can do it, the better, so then people stop doing this. So if we can expedite it faster, we do that through the commission. How many signs do you think?
Well, we have, Mary, the signs are upstairs, right? So
Yeah,
we can,
those,
the brown signs.
yeah, I think, I'm pretty sure it says no dumping on it along with 20 other
Yeah,
things, so
yeah.
I don't know that if someone's about to dump, they're gonna stop and read the whole thing. See,
Well,
but
but I think if they see the sign, they'll realize that people.
It's conservation
that's true,
area.
it does say conservation.
So maybe we
that-
could start there and then, I can pick one up tonight and
Yeah.
text it to you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they're not, since we updated our regs, they're a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think if we, the one thing about dogs, you
I
can.
can just
change out. Everything else is pretty much the same.
Would that suffice, Marcella?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll help, but I agree that people aren't gonna stop and read the reg signs before they dump, a load of grass clippings in. So, that's, yeah, I was thinking something, like a red on white background, your basic no dumping sign, kind of like what we put up at Peppercorn Hill for the no campfire signs. And those at Peppercorn have, they are in addition to the reg signs. So, I don't know if it's needed. This may be a one-off situation, but I don't want to encourage anyone by default to keep dumping there. So.
Well, how about this? We look at the Voss catalog and see if there's something that's suitable, and then Grace can order if you can ask Grace or Mary to order if you.
I know I bought some for Webster. I did a little research on it. There were plain no dumping. I think I even found a no dumping wetland one. But of course there may not be a wetland here. Yeah,
But yeah,
they
well,
have them on Amazon too.
Yeah. I make a motion, we authorize staff to spend up to $100 to purchase some no dumping signs for use at town conservation areas.
Wait a second,
Second,
so voice vote, Chris, aye.
Tom, I. Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Give it up.
Marcella, I. Does anyone have any preferences as to wording? Like, do we want to say please no dumping or
No,
Just tell them, don't.
respect the open space
Oh.
or something like that? Just
Yeah.
no dumping.
no dumping.
Well, you're gonna put the other sign.
Yeah, at
In
least
that,
like
the new
underground,
dumping sign when they
underneath it.
come.
Don't be nice about it.
Yeah.
They're not being nice.
The less words you put on something, the
Well, like-
easier somebody's gonna read it.
Okay. Well, I'll price them out. I did price them out, but, I was looking at larger quantities and I have to take a look and see what like 10 or a dozen would cost.
Would you like a different number than $100?
What?
Currently, is that-
I think it could cost as much as 200 if we, depending on what material, like, do we want aluminum or do we want vinyl? You know, it can, I was thinking vinyl, kind of like the ones we have at Peppercorn, but, so $100 may be just fine for, half a dozen to a dozen.
Do we amend the motion?
Well, how many signs do we need?
Well, that's a good question, because,
Yeah.
where, we do have some dumping going on
$10
in other
each?
places.
What do they cost, Marcel? I mean, are they,
We'll have to look at,
okay.
first thing, just look in Bob's catalog and see
Yeah.
what they've got, and the file signs usually aren't that expensive, maybe 20
Yeah.
bucks.
So, twice
It could
as
be
much.
like $3 or $4 a sign if it's vinyl. Up as much as 20 for, or as little as 20 for aluminum, which I think would be,
Just
Too
let you use best judgment.
Yeah, I mean, if they're only a few bucks, I think $100 would be plenty of something.
right, well, let's start with $100, and if it looks like there's a huge price break, I mean, we could bump it up to 200 just to give me some wiggle room. So,
Stock, you know.
We amend the motion then to 200?
yeah, I'll amend the motion to authorize spending up to $200 on no dumping signs.
We have a second?
Second,
It's a voice vote. Chris, aye.
Tom,
Alan, I.
Yeah,
David, I.
Marcella, I.
Alan vote.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so excellent. So that's 200.
Right. Well, thanks. And Mike kind of filled you in on what's going on with Mechanic Street. So that's pretty much what's going on with land stewardship these days.
Okay. So any other items that you know of for tonight? Because 8:44.
Yeah, no, there's some stuff on the back of the agenda, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
the elected person, anything new on the Dogwood Drive easement?
No, well, yes, up at staff meeting, which means, anyway, whatever that means, somebody who complained to Joe. So, yes, it sounds like, Dennis and Bill went out there and you guys don't need it and we can send a letter. That's what Dennis said during staff meeting.
Well, I did it without me, but he's the guy who's gotta make that decision. I didn't know that, but I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's what he said yesterday morning,
Okay, how about Bonner?
But I do have a follow-up question. So did somebody actually call and ask if we could, whatever, vacate that easement?
No, there's somebody that works in our office that's very anxious
Oh,
for this
okay,
process
got
to
it,
be
got it,
going,
got it,
so,
got
yeah.
it. They're just looking for the trails to be
Yes.
firmly
Yeah.
established.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just want the process to not get stalled for 3 years
Got it.
or even
As
6
do
months.
we, I think, collectively.
Yes.
All right, no, great, so that worked.
Yep.
Okay, how about Bonner Natural Area?
Well, there's, I think there's a draft in the, packet. It's the first draft, I wrote it up as a representative of that comment. It's kind of based on another trail easement, or trail MOU that we have. It hasn't been reviewed by the Metacomet board yet. It basically allows the town, if it wants to, commission land stewardship if they wanted to establish a trail in a Bonner natural area. The concept is one big loop trail with connections to Whitney and Forest Heights.
It's just a letter. Sure.
Yeah, might be another near map. No, but
Is that separate
Brand might show the properties on your map after this. just so you know
Okay.
where stuff is.
I don't think we have near map locked in up here.
Um,
But we can, I can show it. I can look on Mass Mapper if that's helpful. I'm not sure where it is.
I'll keep going. Yep. Keep going. Yeah, they call it the North Street Conservation Area here.
Oh, is this it?
I gotta work on that. I don't know how it got
Is
named.
that,
want
was that good, Mark? Is that the?
Yeah, it's,
You
I
want the
donated to
imagery?
that. Yeah. But anyway, just, maybe go back to.
Sorry for those that are looking online.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
This is
see, you can actually see there's a trail here. I don't think it's quite the right place, but. So there's, this is Whitney. So thought would be to link up in here, do a loop someplace around Bonner, staying on the west side of Warren Brook. This crossing would be really difficult here. And then this is Forest Heights up here, Townland. So you could have a connection. And from there, you can probably get to.
Yeah, actually,
trail along
scroll
the
down
next
a
part.
bit, I can show you one stop. Off of Thing Island. No, I'm sorry. No,
Let's go the other way.
Yeah, so, yeah, your cursor is, there you go.
Is it that way?
Yeah.
That one? Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it is.
This area right here.
You need a laser light.
Yeah, I do. That is
I like that one.
a really cool area. There's an amazing ledge outcrop there. On one side, you can like sit on the outcrop and then there's a stream, which is, well, it's also very pool.
Is that like here or something?
Yeah, and on the other side is a huge laurel patch of laurel. It's really,
Same parcel we hiked many
Yes,
years
yeah.
ago, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
it's really quite spectacular.
Do we know the town doesn't own that parcel to the right?
No, we don't. But we don't own that outcrop.
The dog was gonna have to
Well,
blast.
That that would definitely be part of the one that the current owners are investing in, selling. They haven't quite decided how much of it they want to keep and how much they want to sell. I think it's gonna be fair, like 60. something like.
Anyway, just, back to the Bonner. Metacomet doesn't have a whole lot of stewardship bandwidth. I honestly, I don't, if this MOU wasn't in existence, I don't think there's any time in foreseeable future Metacomet would be building a trail.
You know if there are existing trails that come out and
There was, when I did the baseline, that little dotted trail near the top there, that's not bad. That actually kind of exists. I don't know if there's an animal path. But it kind of peters out a little bit further into the property. That was the only trail that I noticed. But that was like
Where,
5-6 years ago now.
isn't there the vernal pool on that property?
There are some vernal pools on the
Right,
property.
so,
And there's a tree stand. I kind of remember, like, Tom.
yeah. Yes, you walked by me one morning.
Yeah,
One afternoon, and I was sitting there.
yeah, and he has.
So I was on
he
the
has-
other side. And Mike, a guy with a clipboard that was walking through, Mike, and I
And
wanted,
I didn't
I
notice.
wanted to videotape him, but I thought he'd see me. I just wanted to keep going. Hang around. We'll jump in.
You didn't follow them when you scoped.
No, hold on. Yeah, so because there's a major trail that in that area, I don't know exactly, but it's a major trail that runs and it crosses the wetlands somewhere up there and it goes up into the higher, what I'll call the higher elevations, and it goes all through, and you're talking about that ledge area. There's a nice, it goes up there, cause it. So, you know the Woods Road in there, Mike, where you came in from? When you walked in, that cart road that's in the woods?
Yes,
Okay.
off of North Street.
Off of North Street, right? So you came up the cart road, and then you kind of cut through the woods. If you follow that cart road up and you go up the hill, there's a steep hill up there. If you follow that cart road up the steep hill, I had at one time cut a trail in there for hunting. Just my cut a trail is really just making sure I don't get my eyes knocked out by cutting branches. And somebody else found it and they made a trail system. And it runs all up and it goes into all that gully, the ledge area and all that other stuff.
It crosses the brook.
It does, well, no, it crosses right before the big vernal pool starts. That's where it crosses. So I don't know if that's actually the start of Warrenbrook or not, it might be. But that's where that goes, right where that vernal pool starts is where it crosses. It's easy enough to cross, it's not a big deal, but there is the point is, there's a trail, pretty good trail system out there. You could ride a bicycle down.
It must be new, because I didn't.
Oh, it's new.
Interesting.
Hopefully the cyclists who made that trail.
And there was a second trail I cut that people found and made it a real trail.
They're 5, 6, well, baseline's about, I think 19 or 18. Baselines. And by speaking of baseline, SVT holds the conservation restriction, so any trail, proposed trails would have to be approved by SVT and that.
Not a big trail guy anyway.
But anyway, it's the status. I don't know if you want to review it and talk about it next meeting.
Excellent. Okay, so we have a letter to the DEP for,
Yeah, that, we already, I'm sorry, should have taken that off the agenda,
Okay.
so it's done.
okay, so.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. We have naming conservation area.
Yeah, did we put something in the newspaper about that? Or the Facebook site or something? About letting people try to name that.
We haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Bill, did you do have a chance to do any historical research?
Yes, I did a little bit of historic research. You were right, it was actually part of the Thomas Baker initially. And his daughter married a Sadler. So it became Sadler land. I don't know how I would get a name out of this, but there's a very interesting deed which sets out specifically how his children were going to take care of them after he deeded them the land. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. And it's like, this is what's important to somebody from 1850, right? A cow. A quarter of the house.
A quarter of the house.
It was right.
You did the kitchen or the bathroom?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's as far as I've gotten.
Okay. How about Castle Pleasant Woods Conservation Area? Anything there?
Yeah, did we talk about this last time?
We did not.
Yeah, we got late. Oh, Linda, can you ask raise your hand?
Where is this?
Pleasant Woods.
Linda,
That's
you
all
still wanna talk?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello? Oh, my
Yep.
goodness.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, Linda.
Finally. I missed a lot. Pretty much everything Bill said, I sort of missed, but I will just say that the reason that I jumped on the call, well, it always turns out there's a whole bunch of reasons I'm glad I'm here, but the reason I jumped on the call was about naming the land, which I think I just sort of interested in that and can echo not the detail that Bill gave about the Sadlers, but it's very obvious when you look at any of the old maps that, the Sadlers pretty much ruled the roost. However, I think that the fact that District 9 Schoolhouse was at that corner of Mechanic and Fowler, which I think is kind of cool, and that it's still standing, actually kind of makes way for a naming as well as a marker and just kind of sort of taking the corner of Mechanic and Fowler and just embracing that. So could you hear that?
Yes, there's a little traffic diamond there, a little grass area there.
Right, which might be edited a little bit with if we end up getting paved this year, but it won't be, there'll still be a patch of grass there that we could put a marker possibly there. I was gonna put those little box street library things at all the schoolhouses. I haven't gotten organized yet, but I did have that idea. But then also, there's the corner there too. So it's just somewhere right around there. I just think it would be I just think that's cool that the schoolhouse is still there, that the schoolhouses, really get represented in a lot of different aspects of our, the stories that are told around Upton. And and the fact that it's that corner. I like that.
So is the house, the schoolhouse?
The little house on the corner.
The house
Yeah.
is the
Yeah,
schoolhouse.
what's the
okay.
schoolhouse?
Yes, and it's very much intact and they're-
People live it.
Yeah, people live there, but
yeah, family lives there and they're very they're excited about being in that house. I think they take a lot of pride from being there and taking care of it. And anyway, so that's that. I wanted to throw that in the mix, and then obviously Bill knows more than I about the Sadler story, but it is pretty amazing when you go back map after map and it's just Sadlers as far as you can see. Few other families, but a lot of Sadlers.
Must have been prolific. So the land almost connects from that schoolhouse up to the one on North Street. There's some interruptions there, but when you look at the open space,
Where is the one on North Street? What's the address?
there is no address.
Oh, it's not.
it's near the pump station.
Yeah, it's a plaque.
Oh, there is a plaque there?
Yep.
Yes.
The marker.
there's a marker there. They put
Oh,
up a
cool.
few, on a little foundation, Linda. It's on the left as you go up the hill.
Oh, okay. I'll look for
See
that.
it. Now that you know it's there, you'll see it.
I know,
Yeah.
now that I know it's there,
Right,
I'll try to
close.
avoid it
Right.
on my electric bike.
Society, the commission, rather, historical commission put up plaques on any existing school site that would have them. So there may very well be a plaque already on the.
There's not a
schoolhouse.
plaque, but there is something on above the house. I think it says, it might say Schoolhouse District Number 9 or just District Number 9. It says something, but it's not
Wooden
you know,
sign
it's
up.
just kind of, yeah, it's, I don't even think it's one of the circus signs. I think it's just something right above the entrance to the door, if I can remember correctly, but anyway,
That's it.
that, and then my other thing was figure out some way to name it after Angie and Bill because they're so cool and special.
You didn't wanna name it LaJoy?
Yeah, isn't Sandy cool and special too?
Maybe we can default to that, but no, I got my top, I've got my top two. Angie and Bill have named their barn has a name. I can't remember what it is, but I think they've been wonderful stewards of that whole patch there. So,
Sure.
and at some point, I like the idea of bringing our history into the 1900s and 2000s.
Well, we certainly will be naming trails as well. So not just the land, but we have a lot of naming opportunities here.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, that's right. That's good to know.
The
Well,
trail.
I'll start my long list then, my long list.
Yes, please do. We talk about this a lot and it's kind of hard to come up with something that makes everybody happy.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, well, that's one reason. That's one of the reasons that I came on. The other thing, as long as I have you, what were you saying about that Mechanic Street property that has the little brown house? Bill, is Bill not getting back to you on that, or what's going on with that? Bill McCormick, the realtor?
Oh, well, he hasn't had a lot, 47 Mechanic Street. The email from Metacomet, which Lisa and I sent to him, was just sent this morning, so.
That-
Stay
what?
tuned.
Saying that there's interest or what?
Yeah, Metacomet is interested in purchasing the backland, 47 Mechanic.
Okay.
You
So,
know, 14, 15 acres, which would leave about 7 acres with frontage to be developed for housing.
Yeah.
Um,
and that's not,
so-
that hasn't been redeeded, right? It's still one parcel?
Oh, it's still one parcel. Yeah, it's just, this is just the first overture that we've kind of made in writing to Bill McCormick, who is the realtor. Town meeting voted to help out with transaction expenses. So now that we have that funding in place, I thought it would be good to approach the realtor.
Oh, so that all just happened. Okay, I thought that had been in the works. Okay, that's cool. That leaves 7 acres up front for potential development for, the dreaded 40B.
Well, housing, it's zone 1 acre development there. They could potentially get in, 2, 3 house lots with the large lot frontage subdivision bylaw, which.
Special permit, actually.
But sorry, which Mr. Taylor will know all about. Very soon.
No, I'm gonna have to reread that, because there is a definition for a large lot and it may be more than a couple of acres.
No, I read it recently
Okay.
and it, I believe if I remember right, it's 3 times
The existing zone,
the existing zone.
Okay.
So,
that makes sense.
so, yes, now they just changed that a year or 2.
Okay.
So I think it's applicable.
So 2 lots. Essentially,
Yeah, plus maybe 2 plus,
well, if you got 7 acres, it's
Yeah.
3-acre lots, so.
but it's what it is.
Oh, you could have 1 acre and 2 3-acre. Got it.
What kind of money are they thinking that back acreage is worth in terms of that total?
Well,
I was just gonna say, we offered $60,000.
You offered 60,000 for the 15 acres in the back?
Yep, based upon the appraised value,
Really?
okay, for rear acres.
Wow. Hmm. All right. Probably won't hear much from Bill. Okay.
Well, hopefully he'll respond, and it's just an opening,
Yeah,
opening,
yeah, start the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
so,
Well, I've had conversations with two potential buyers who were, I think, the 850 that they were originally asking and now 799 is probably more than they were willing to pay. I think they were looking to use it for one. Each of them were were looking for a home, a place to build a home.
Yes,
So, and so 850 or 799 for one home, for the land for one home is probably
right.
a lot. And conceivably to somebody like that, you know, being able to sell the rear acres could be a positive. Even at the $60,000.
Yeah. Well, ask Metacomet if they want to do a science center, wildlife science center. I'm up for that. Take that little building and turn it into something sweet. Some parking, public bathrooms. The epicenter of the Upton Trail System.
play the lottery.
What'd you say? Play the lottery?
Yeah.
No, we just need one of these entities to decide that it's a good idea.
7, 9,
Yeah.
What we got going on?
you have to get going.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to take so much time, but I wanted to get in on that naming thing. I didn't know if you guys were ready to vote or what.
No.
No, not yet.
We're still thinking, no, thank you very much for that.
Okay, now we have, Pleasant Woods conservation area encroachment.
So do we just write them a letter and tell them to get their stuff out of our area?
Well,
We visited.
no, it's, Mary and I walked into
Oh.
here, we talked to the owner here and walked into, to look at the vernal pools. But this is off a different cul-de-sac, and you can see this whole area here.
That's a lot.
Now, I looked at the recorded plans, and it doesn't look like there's any bounds to go out there and find. You know, there's just those little surveyor squiggles at each corner, and I mean, it's pretty substantial, but I think we're kind of in the same position we were at George Hill a year or so ago. It's that, you know, we might need to have a surveyor go out there and.
So that is to the city, that might be the property that's town property.
Yes, Pleasant, yeah, Pleasant, this is all. This is all Pleasant Woods Conservation Area.
Okay, to the right of that yellow line,
Right, correct.
okay. And that may have all been built on, yes. Well, that would be problematic.
Where does that lake come into?
It's either Breton or. Let's see,
Oh, yeah, right off of,
The one below it is Hazelton. Good
I stopped sharing.
Capewood.
good job, Bill.
Yeah.
I drive by it multiple times a day and I couldn't. where it was.
You just have to slow down. Show your speeding.
Yeah. One of the police. All right, so could it be, Mike, that those lines aren't correct? or-
That's always a possibility, but that's a pretty,
Not that far off.
yeah, that's a pretty significant.
We were up at, what was that, George Hill Road, there were off quite a bit.
I think
What, what
we
is there exactly? Like, looks like there's a raised bed garden and like a cement platform, but that's what it looks like to me. What actually is there in that area?
There's definitely some landscape features. I think maybe the next step is just to take a walk out there. And just get some photos, see what's there.
Was there a distance on the deed note where you could do like a rough measurement back? Like, number of feet or?
Well, Yeah, there's a house, we could do that. There are just, businesses from Cosac to the back.
And while Pleasant Woods may not have bounds, it's possible that the development went in after Pleasant Woods was acquired. Maybe the houses have some markers.
Well, I did look at the plans for development and then no bounds kind of jumped out, but
Okay.
you never know what's there, but I suggest we take a look at it and then discuss it again and maybe hire a surveyor to check it out for us like we did.
So where would we, to look at that, where would we walk in from Warren Street?
Yeah, we could walk in from Warren, or we could, Mary and I asked for permission to walk in right there. And it's actually a trail off that Cosac that leads to the, with a little bit of effort, it leads to the trails. Pleasant Woods. So. But you come in off of Warren.
Do we have an idea of when people want to look at? Or just in the future? I'm hearing a lot of
I
interest.
don't mind, I wouldn't mind going in there, I'm just not.
I don't know what I'd be looking for.
I mean, and I've got an app on my phone, property lines and stuff. That gives you a pretty good
Oh, that's nice.
example of what it is. I could go in there with that if I knew exactly where I was going.
Well, it seems like there's that point where the three lines kind of meet on the bottom, maybe that might be, that's already served at some point. Get that.
Yeah, but I have to get there. Like, I don't know where that is.
Go from the coordinate, if we knew it's.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could pull up.
Maybe I know what's the
Well, there's a trail that leads pretty close to from Warren.
Yeah, if anyone knows that, I'd be happy to go out there with them. Just,
It's really, yeah, it may be beyond my range, but we can see.
Did you do it before, Mary? Do you know where that is?
Yeah, I went in with Mike recently and a long time ago, I walked that.
Do you have any interest in doing that again?
I can, yeah, I can.
Okay, just let me know. We'll try to walk out there.
Let's get some pictures. I don't think you can find any bounds. Might get lucky or something.
I don't think. Would there be wetlands delineated on the house that's there? The plan?
I think there's any wetlands there.
Oh, okay. So we don't have anything, even if there were, unless it were wetlands, we.
It's town
we don't
land.
have any.
It's
Yeah,
town
it's
land.
just town.
Yeah, it's an encroachment. That's an encroachment.
Maybe, basically.
Well, they wouldn't know.
It's easy enough to go in from behind. I don't think I would want to walk across their property from the front, but.
Yeah.
Going from behind and look.
Yeah.
So
They're going from behind.
I mean, there's a trail that's probably 100 feet off of where they could. So it's pretty close. Pretty close.
If you got to the area, then I could get an understanding. Have a better understanding of where the property line would be based on what my phone would tell me.
Take the near map imagery with you and with that area blown up and.
What's the number of the house that's there?
Didn't click
Guess
with
I
it.
missed
it
that at the
displayed-
beginning.
Address.
Well, this is just the snapshot.
That's not,
Oh, that's just.
the JPEG.
Yeah, and I haven't figured out how to do your map on this computer. I'm sure we can though.
Yeah. I'm having a big
We'll
one.
have to,
Okay.
All right, do circles and turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's. At least Breton Road.
Right, but we couldn't go in from there.
I would recommend it. Like,
Yeah.
So my thought is just to go off of Warren Street,
Yeah,
just go that way.
yeah, well, that road is, Breton, it's private anyway. So.
Oh. Okay.
Go from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Warren
Shinny
Street's a
up the
little
hill.
closer to it.
Yeah.
So whenever, Mary, let us know and we'll see if we can't.
I'll go out.
Yeah, let us all know, I make.
Okay.
I make the try.
Everybody but Mike.
Mike can't, we won't let Mike go.
Maybe we can get a little ATV for you.
What are the comments before we move on to signing things? I know Sandy talked a lot of stuff around,
Sign thing.
something about,
On Grace, sign them out.
getting yourself, reappointed. So I know I have a list, a land storage, woman's days, in control.
Maybe next week we should start with those things.
It's amazing.
So what would you,
You're on the list. Easy to
just anywhere?
Oh, yeah, so
Or they didn't
written
get-
sign.
Sorry.
Symbol, and we send some the other way.
Send them my way when you got Mike and I'll send it down the line.
That's not these back. Thanks.
You stand, you don't complain about it.
So.
What?
I said, don't complain about my signature. It hasn't gotten any better in the last 4 years.
So one or
Well, I don't think we can,
four things to sign, right?
can't.
No.
No, just three.
Just three.
Yeah.
Or two working lives. That's me.
We only need.
Just a pretty- I'm gonna run up the street for this.
So what were you doing? I thought you had time on. What were you doing for signatures all this time? Just.
Sign them everything.
Yeah, you guys sign, and that's, I mean, it's,
Forge our signature, Sandy.
yeah, I've been doing it for
You know,
years.
Mary, she's pretty devious like that.
Yep.
She's a rule breaker, Sandy. As a teacher, you shouldn't like that.
I don't mind it, but you can get the job done.
Oh,
Hey, Chris, it's up to you. I can either use your stamp or if you wanna. sign
whatever, it's fine.
So we have a whole different.
Oh, somebody sent one the wrong way.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want, Grace.
Probably make it better when I'm home, not complaining. My teeth.
Nice to meet in person, but.
It is.
Seems to go fast, maybe it's a music and CD.
Now what we got,
Are we adjourning?
The motion,
so moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Maybe to do justice to the
Aye.
things end of the agenda, we should just maybe start with those next.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm
Signing.
saying? Just
yeah, we,
not signing, but there's, you know, things to talk about and.
yeah, that's right. I agree.
We'll do our people that need to speak. Yeah.
No, I need to engage on
Where's the
that.
final?
Filling in things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may have moved around, so.
I'm with.
There's nothing.
Naming the things
I gotta carry all this stuff,
Okay.
so I can go, it's in the, it's not in the Concom office, it's in the code office.
Oh,
First
okay,
one.
okay.
On the first
Um,
page.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if they were always there.
Regaining a little of my investment.
I didn't have the office.
I'll ask for Ross.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I left
I
that
might
first
put it on,
Yeah, why don't you do
Facebook
that
or
then?
something.
Just do that.
Okay.
And if you don't, I can ask for it.
Anybody's starting out already.
Right, we're all set, good to go?
I think we're all set.
All done.